kia ora, whakaalofa lahi atu, and welcome back to this week's IG Live. I'm also on Facebook, so kia ora to Facebook. Thank you for being here. This week's IG Live, I love this question so much. It is, how do I find my purpose in life? And this comes off the back of some coaching calls that I had literally today. I feel like some of my clients have this question. Like, a lot of the coaching call was surrounded by, not feeling like they are fulfilled in life, not feeling like they have a passion, feeling like they're wasting their life away, and they don't really know what they're doing. They're just kind of going to work, coming home, and that's all. They don't really have that happiness, that joy, that connection in their lives. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about it. I'll talk about it on this week's live, because I think it's so important. And there's definitely been moments in my life where I have had the same thought, like, what's my passion? What's my purpose? What am I here for? And all the things. Let me know in the comments if it is something that you have felt before. But my first thing always is, when it comes to this question, is taking yourself away, stepping away and having time with yourself. So away from, your job, whatever it is, being a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever you are, right, in the world. Take yourself away from that, from being a mom or a dad or a parent or a best friend or a cousin or a, sister and all of that. Pull yourself away from all those things and have some time with yourself. Have some time alone with yourself and reflect. And you need to ask yourself some very good, I was going to say serious questions, but I think they're really, really good questions that you need to kind of be asking yourself. And one of the questions is, what matters to you the most? What matters in your life? What matters to you? What are your values? And I say this all the time, but we need to get clear on our values. What are your values? What are your interests? What are your passions? I hope you brought a pen and a paper today, because you need to start writing these down, right? What topics do you love to talk about all the time? What topics make you feel alive? What topics make you feel engaged? So for me, values, growth, integrity, kindness, right? Topics would be anything towards growth, body image, confidence, roller skating, J. Cole, right? These things are the things that make me feel alive and engaged, especially when somebody's talking anything to do with growth, personal development, stuff like that. I am so all the way tuned in and focused to everything that they are saying, because it's my jam, right? Think about past experiences that you've had that make you feel fulfilled or make you feel on purpose, right? What's some experiences you've had in the past? For me, roller skating, right? That comes from childhood, like that feeling in childhood, feeling joyful, feeling happy, the laughter, all the things, right? Feeling like a little kid again, right? That makes me feel fulfilled. Hair blowing in the wind and all that kind of stuff, right? And you want to look at, what are some of your strengths? What are you good at? What are your talents? What are your skills? So writing down all these things. What comes naturally to you? What do you excel at? And sometimes we might have trouble with this. You might think, oh, I'm, what's the word? Boasting, or, I'm trying to think of the word, boasting, giving yourself a big head, like that kind of vibes, right? But that's a good thing. I do that all the time. But you might have to ask your friends, ask your family, what do they come to you as well for? What do they come to you for? For me, my family and friends would always say, oh, Leash, you're such a good listener. Oh, Leash, you ask so many good questions, right? And it's so funny because I'm a coach, right? And a coach listens really well and asks really quality questions. So that was one of the things that helped me find my purpose, right? What goals do you have? What goals do you have in life? Because they will help you get on the right track. And a lot of the times when people say, I don't know what my purpose is in life, I don't know what I'm here for, all the things, I always ask, Like, what have you done so far? What are some of the things that you've done that, you know, that you've kind of tried out and you've either liked it or you didn't like it, whether it's good or bad? What have you done in the past? Because those things will kind of tell you like where you're going, what you do not like or what you do like. But most of the times people are like, oh, I actually really haven't done anything, right? We just expect, you know, you expect your purpose to kind of just come down, drop down from the sky, right? And be like, oh, this is my purpose. But it's like, we're not born with the purpose, right? They're not born and be like, oh, this is my purpose, right? It's kind of something we decide over life. Like, we decide what our purpose is, right? So you have to try a whole bunch of things. You have to try different things to figure out what it is that your purpose is, right? It's not somebody just magic wand and being like, this is your purpose. It's like, you try a bunch of things and you see what you like and what you don't like. And so my thing is like, go try a bunch of things. Go volunteer, go travel the world, go take up that course, do that class, do the, you know, and you'll probably see me do it a lot too. I do these random things and it's like, why are you doing that? I'm like, because I want to know if I like it or not, right? I want to see where this goes. So just try a bunch of different things. And I feel like that's really what we fail to do, is we don't try things. We just expect ourselves to kind of know what our purpose is, but you've got to try. Do all the things. If there's one thing that you have a little inkling on, you're like, I don't know if it sounds like something I might like. Go try it. See, find out if you like it or not. Find out if you want to do more of it or not, you know. So try all the things. Go ham, go for gold. Live with no regrets. Like, I wish I tried that, or I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. Just try. See how you go, right? If anything, it's like you learn. You'll learn a lot from it. You'll learn if you like it or not. You'll learn about that thing. And another question I ask myself is, like, I actually asked the woman, is what would you do if all your needs were met, right? So if you had all the time, all the money, all the resources you needed, all the things, right? What would you do? Because a lot of the times the things that we do in life is because we don't have something. Like, we just take a job because we need the money. It's not our dream job. It's just the job that we need right now. Or the partner we just take because we're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get anything better than this, so I'll just take that, right? But it's like, what would you do if you could have your dream job, your dream partner, your dream everything, all your needs were met, you had all the money, you had the best job in the world, you had all the time, all the things? What would you do? What would you do with your life? That's going to give you a huge inkling into what it is that you want to do with your life, you know. What do you love to do? What are some of the things that you love to do? Dive deep, get into it, find out all the things about yourself. And if you feel like you don't have much inspiration at the moment, you're just drawing blanks, you don't know, right? I would say to look for inspiration. Look out there, see what other people are doing. Get on YouTube, get on podcasts, books, watch documentaries, scroll Instagram, see if you can find people that you kind of look up to and be like, oh, I would kind of like, you know, if I could do that, if I could be an influencer, or if I could start a business, or if I could be a coach, or if I could be a whatever, right? A teacher, you know, maybe I'd like that. And then start looking into it more. Watch that person more. See what they do. Would you like that or not? You know, or investigate it on YouTube. How to be a coach. What's included. All the things. Look up a course to study or whatever. See if it's something you're interested in. And then start doing that. And then if you're like, nah, I don't think that's for me, something else, right? And what else can I say? I think being present in the moments as well. We do so many things. It's kind of like we just do something, then on to the next. Something else, on to the next. We accomplish something, on to the next, or whatever, right? It's like, be present. Pay attention to those moments. Pay attention to moments where you are deeply satisfied in something, right? It might be when you're outside in nature. It's like, oh, this makes me feel so good. Then do more things outside in nature because you know that makes you feel good, right? It might be in the middle of a city, hustling and bustling. It might be time with your kids. That might be your purpose, right? It might be the time with your partner. You know, there's different types, you know, there's so many things, right? So really tune into your current life and where you are feeling deeply, deeply satisfied. And yeah, when you're deeply satisfied, feel those moments. And when you're not, when you don't like things, feel those moments as well, because it's like less of that, turn that part up where you are deeply satisfied, and look more into that and into things like that. But I think overall there is like patience. We need to have patience in these moments. We need to enjoy the journey of life, because I think it is a journey, right? Finding your purpose or finding your passion is a journey in life. And what you're doing right now might be your passion, right? If you're currently feeling happy, fulfilled, joyful, connected, all the things, right? You're good, then that's your passion. That's your purpose, right? It's more so for those people who are feeling highly disconnected, who aren't feeling happy and in their joy and all these kinds of things. It's like you need to go out, you need to try a bunch of different things. But what you're doing might just be your purpose, right? And your purpose might change over time as well. For me, finding my purpose and, helping women and coaching and doing all the things that I do, being on social media, going to events, speaking, all the stuff, right? Like, for me, I'm like, that's my purpose. Like, that is it. Like, and once I found it, I was like, damn, it's been this whole time. And it's made sense when I've looked back into my past. And so how I was at school when I talk about this in my past, where I was my so extra self, and so many people were coming and like being like, oh, you're too extra, you're too much, all these things, right? And I was slowly dimming my light. But when I was at my fully expressed self, I was doing things like this, right? I was speaking at assemblies at school, right? I was organizing these events. I was a house captain. I did like huge huge performances and stuff like that. I'd perform at school, right? And do all these things, right? It was that all along. And there were clues along the way that was what I was going to do growing up, right? That was what my purpose and my passion was in life. So look back at, your childhood, who you were at your fully expressed self over time, because it is over time where we kind of have doubts that kind of seep through, and the fear that kind of seeps through, and people talking shit to you that seeps through. For me, it was people like, you're too much, shut up, sit down, all the things, right? But the whole time it was me being my so extra self on stages, performing, sharing my story, helping people, all the things, right? So go back to those times and those spaces where you were, your amazing self. Your past kind of will leave clues, and it will also tell you what you don't want to be in life, and who you don't want to be in life, and what your purpose isn't, right? But studies have shown that people who live on purpose tend to live longer, and they tend to take better care of themselves. So I think it's so important. It's so important to kind of find out what your purpose is. But I think definitely trying a bunch of things. My go-to is like, if you don't know, try a bunch of things, and then you'll find out. I like that, I don't like that. And I think even making a list of, like, just grab a piece of paper. And this is what I get the ladies to do when I coach them. It's like, okay, let's go for it. Let's grab a piece of paper. Let's step into the person who you want to be, and what you want to create, and what does it look like, and what do you feel, and what do you see, and what do you hear, and what are the goals you have, and what do you want to do, right? And we just write it all down, write all the goals down, all the things you'd like to try out in life. Kind of like a before you die, what is it called? Like a bucket list, right? All the things you want to do before you pass. Start ticking them off, trying them, because in those, you'll probably find like, shit, I really love that. I'm going to go deeper in that. And that might be my passion. That might light me up. That might light a fire inside of me to do something about it, right? So yeah, just trying a whole bunch of things. And I still be out here trying a bunch of things. Me and Met's last, I think it was our anniversary. We just did like a whole bunch of things in the city that we've always wanted to do before, like paddleboarding, right? Seeing if we liked it or if we didn't like it, going to the art vo and stuff like that. It seems like small things, but those things can really ignite something into you. I'd be like, oh, I actually really love art. I really love to paint. I went to a paint and sip, and that was the moment I learned that, oh, I don't actually like painting. Like, I actually don't like doing this. I'm not a artsy person in that way. Like, I'm a very creative person, but not in the painting type of way, right? And then there's other times where I'll go and like go to like a food restaurant or something and be like, oh, I'm a foodie, or I'm not a foodie, I like this food, or I don't like this food, right? So it's also learning to get to know yourself more. Does that make sense? Learning more about yourself, right? And how you change over time and as you age and as you grow and all the things. But that's basically it for this week's IG Live. I hope that helped you. I hope that ignited something into you. And I think as well, just, finding people that you can do that with as well, I think really, really helps. Finding other people who are trying to find their purpose or their passion as well. Like, try a bunch of things with them, because sometimes it is kind of daunting to do it on your own. So finding a group of like-minded people, or people who will support you and go to these things with you or whatever, right? That always helps so much. But that's it for this week's IG Live. If you want to get some one-on-one coaching with me, please DM me, jump in the DMs and just say coaching, and I'll get back to you on that, and we can totally jump on a coaching session together, because I think that will really, really help. But thank you so much for being here. Ka kite, koe kia.